In today's episode of the Business of You podcast, we've got the incredible Helen Thacker. Helen is a business mentor and positioning expert who helps women become the obvious choice in their industry by identifying what truly makes them different and valuable to their buyers. In today's episode, we're exploring the edge of being the obvious choice. We're discussing why being great at what you do isn't always enough, what really drives buyers' demand, and how to stop blending in with everybody else in your industry. We talk about differentiation, conviction, becoming more specific, and why the businesses that stand out aren't always the loudest, but they are always the clearest. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, make sure you leave us a comment, make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe, and go and watch all of the other amazing episodes in the series as well. Let's get stuck in. Welcome, Helen. Thank you so much for coming onto the Business of You podcast today.
I'm so excited to be here.
Me too.
Thank you, Claire.
I feel like we're going to need a lot longer than one episode for this, though.
Whole series.
Already. Yeah, I know. We should have had a pre-talk, shouldn't we? As you know, this is our first season of the Business of You podcast, and our first season is all around edges, which is one of my favourite topics. And every guest had been hand-picked, hand-selected to come on to the podcast to talk about their edge in their specialism and their magic. Now, I know we have a huge amount of synergy in the work that we do and the things that we love and the way that we think. So I'm very, very excited for us to explore this episode. And it's actually a brilliant follow-on from one of the solo episodes, the kicking off, which was all around finding your edge. So we have coined your episode as the edge of being the obvious choice. So just let's start by just kind of telling me a little bit about what that means to you. Both our audiences, you know, we work with women in business predominantly. So what does being the obvious choice mean to you?
It means being seen, and it means being respected for what you are best at in a nutshell, so that when you achieve that, there is no question that you are the person for the potential client, and how you communicate that. And so it's a case of that definition, being confident and convicted in that, and knowing that for yourself as well. A lot of people don't know that, but that's what it means to me. It's like, without any shadow of a doubt, you're solid in yourself and you're able to communicate that to the world.
Brilliant. Okay. So let's start with first question. So just to kick us off, why do you think some businesses, because obviously we both work with women in business, work with hundreds of different women in businesses, and we've both seen this of some people just seem to have it, and some people just don't in the marketing and you know, and in the online space and on social media, you see these people taking off. And what do you think it is that gives somebody that edge and that obvious choice? So how do some businesses create this demand effortlessly while others just seem to get left behind? What is it that those businesses are doing?
Those businesses are putting a lot of the strategies to one side. They are not focusing necessarily on getting the particular messaging ingredients right. They are not looking at, okay, how am I converting in the DMs? Like, what's the sales strategies? They're not focusing on standing out through branding and like being different, and kind of trying to create something that is unique. They're not focusing on finding their unique thing necessarily. They are focusing on knowing how to explain what it is that they do. How to actually communicate and explain with logic what it is that they do so well, so that it does literally become obvious when you go onto their content. It's like, well, obviously this is exactly why I can help you solve the problem that you solve. And the reason why most people don't actually achieve that is because they don't know it for themselves. And I've been through this journey myself of like massive feeling of just being lost. And you honestly cannot possibly begin to build a business until you deeply know that. And it also requires you being quite brave.
100%. A lot of the themes of this podcast are around self-trust, self-awareness, self-recognition. I talk about this with my clients all the time of, you know, being a recognized woman starts with self-recognition. Like, it starts with you. So I've got a bit of a take on becoming the obvious choice, because my clients talk to me about this. Well, you know, I think the connotations of being the obvious choice is that kind of like, well, I've got to be the best. Right? My clients may say to me that it makes me feel really uncomfortable. The way I explain it to them is being the obvious choice is if I go to a restaurant and I'm not that hungry and I want to eat fish that day instead of meat, and I want to spend under £15. The obvious choice on the menu for me might be the calamari.
Yeah.
Right? It's not that the calamari is any better than the steak. It's just that's the obvious choice for me on that day to suit the parameters and the expectations that I'm looking for. And that's, I think, when you think about it like that, it takes away this conversation of how do I become the best, the top, winner and loser, me or them. And actually it's just about being, how am I the best possible solution for my people? And how do I help them to find me?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Apart from that, I would have picked the fish fingers.
I agree.
No, it's cool. I agree. I always say to people, you don't have to conquer the whole world. Like, go and do it if you want. But it is just about conquering your little part of the marketplace, right? And I think that's where people start to feel overwhelmed. It almost like starts, it's like when you set a goal that's too big, you're going to give up, right? If it's too big, it seems too massive. I totally love that analogy. It's like absolutely what I agree with. Oh, we just got so much that we agree on. It's like the whole
I'm a real pictures person. Like, my clients love my crazy analogies, but I think sometimes we overcomplicate things and we make them into these big things in our mind, you know, put them on these pedestals, when actually if we just break them down and see them for what they are, being the obvious choice is just being the best solution for your people, right? And that's what marketing is at its heart. I say this all the time. If you're for everybody, then you're doing it wrong. You know, it's absolutely, you should be repelling as well as attracting. So what do you think the difference is between somebody being really good at what they do and being known for what you do? Because there's a really big difference, isn't there? Being good at what you do versus being known for it. So let's just deep dive into that.
So being good at what you do, anyone can be good. Like, we both have absolutely expert women. Like, I tend to specialise in experts who bring that genius or their expertise, their experience into the coaching industry. So they usually come with sometimes like decades of experience. The clinical psychologists, personal stylists, you know, leadership coaches, whatever. They bring it into the coaching industry and they are excellent. They are so excellent at that. And there's no doubt. And so they are showcasing that in their marketing. A lot of their marketing is that, like, proof, convincing. Like, I have to show you
here's my
best.
evidence.
Here's what I can do. Here's what I know. Here's my results. And then they kind of think, well, how do I then make myself different? How do I, like, then stand out? And they do all the visibility, blah, blah, blah. And that's great. But that's fine. Being the best at what you do, great. But actually, how you become that obvious choice and how you become seen, that's what you asked me, didn't you? I'm having a
how are you seen and how are you chosen? So being really good at what you do is one thing, but how do you become known for it? How do you get chosen for it?
Perimenopausal moment.
No, that's why the bullet points are there for both of us.
So how you become chosen is, like you said, making your work the logical solution. And this is what I teach. This is the missing piece, and it really is that simple. It's like, how can you define then how your work works and why your work works? And now you've got to be able to explain that. And that is how people will see you. That's how people will actually see you and choose you. And that's the thing that most people are missing, and most of the time it's because they don't know it for themselves.
Yeah, exactly that. And I think a lot of this conversation is around, there's so much synergy in what we do, and that I think people hide behind capability. You know, they hide behind being capable at doing the thing. But the difficulty is in marketing and in the online world, there's so much competition and there's so many options that being good at what you do isn't enough anymore. There's loads of other people who are good at what you do. So if you're only selling the task or the service that you offer, and that's the only differentiator, you're easily comparable. Whereas 9 times out of 10, people aren't choosing you because you do what you do. They're choosing you because you do what you do and because you are who you are.
And it's the way you do it. This is the thing. So everyone, like, there are thousands of people like us. Like, we're very similar, but we do things in very different ways. There are thousands of everyone, right? And how you actually differentiate yourself comes from, like, well, what's my belief behind my work? How do I get my clients from A to B? And how do I do that, and why do I do it that way? Why do I have steps A, B, and C to do that? And it's plugging in that, like, belief that you have behind it that comes from here. And everyone's beliefs and everyone's, like, way of working is different. And honestly, it becomes a competition of, like, who can explain the way they do things in the most logical way, but here's the catch: it has to be explained in a way that sits with your specific ideal clients.
Yeah, and they can understand it.
Exactly, but because there's a million ways to sell anything, right? There's literally a million and one ways you can sell anything. You can position anything. You can have the benefits of anything in a million ways.
Yeah.
But it's like knowing what that, I call it the chocolate, is versus the broccoli, which is the good stuff we're all going to give you, but we don't really crave, right? We all want the chocolate. And so what is your ideal client's chocolate that you then need to bring to the forefront of your marketing? So it's a combination of explaining logically what you do and then knowing how to do that, which perfectly matches your ideal clients. That's the secret, if there is such a thing. That is the secret to standing out.
I've heard you talk about this before, and I love it, of the chocolate and the broccoli.
Yeah.
The broccoli is the thing that you need, and you absolutely have to have it, but it's not the thing that you want. The chocolate is the thing you want. I love that. Sell the chocolate, not the broccoli.
And also you have to have like this entry point for your marketing. Otherwise you'll just become known for all kinds of things. You can provide all the broccoli behind the scenes. I can come into your world and get all the good stuff. But what's the tempt them in? Yeah, exactly. What's that entry point? What's the reason that people are going to know you for? What's that thing?
You have to give them other anchors, don't you, for them to anchor onto.
Absolutely.
So what do you think the difference in marketing is between marketing that informs and marketing and messaging that creates desire and creates demand for that chocolate? What kind of advice have you got for people around tweaking their messaging or their their content to make it more desirable for their ideal clients?
So the way I approach marketing, I teach it across 5 simple frameworks, and you have to have all of those 5 in your marketing on rotation throughout a period of time. Obviously, in my business, we look at what your marketing requirements are right now based on perhaps where the level of awareness your audience have, how warm they are, where you are in perhaps a launch period. We look at, maybe we have to make some tweaks, but generally you have to have these 5 different frameworks on rotation because there are 3 key sales psychology principles that you must have in your marketing: of certainty, authority, and connection. You have to build those things, that whole know, like, and trust in a general sense, but it's deeper than that. So marketing that informs does not tick all of those boxes. It might, for example, be authoritative. It might be, look, this is what I know. I know my shit. Here's the stuff that I know. Go and save my content. Go and like my content. Tell me my content's great. But you're not going to buy because you've not actually created that connection. You've not created that certainty.
Activated them.
Exactly. And so through the whole process, the whole idea of a sort of marketing cycle is with these 5 frameworks, you are literally moving people through the buyer journey. You are allowing them to have all those pieces connected, all the dots connected that go, that is that authority. I can hear you know your stuff, but why do I need you? And so it's the activating piece. And that comes with knowing your ideal clients. We all know this, but to what degree? Knowing their chocolate, but also knowing, and this is where a lot of people go wrong, they think that getting specific in what they're experiencing, what they're believing, what they're feeling is enough. You have to then take them on a journey. Where am I taking you? It's not enough to say, look, I know you're experiencing this, and this is how we fix it. You have to actually be able to explain how, so they can see logically a pathway to that. It's that kind of content that's it's not that problem. It's not an X problem. It's a Y problem. It's the laziest kind of marketing that there is. It's the most ineffective marketing that there is. It's just telling people, and high level clients, women who are ambitious and driven and want to make those decisions, do not like to be told what to do. And they also, it doesn't explain. It doesn't actually show, okay, so I'm supposed to do this instead, but why? You have to be able to show that and implement your own strategy and showcase your own way and methodology of getting people to that end goal. And that's the kind of marketing that is going to actually activate and move people.
Create that desire. Why do you think so many people, so many women specifically, if we're talking about this edge of being the obvious choice, why do you think so many people struggle to identify it? Why do you think that is?
Oh, so many reasons. I see so much. People come to me and this is my experience as well. So all of the things I'm about to say, I've absolutely been there and done that. Got the t-shirt big time. So many of us follow a path that we think we should be following. So we try and get good at skills that perhaps are not our best. We follow not necessarily even like a business model, but just, oh, well, you know, that coach over there is teaching things a certain way.
Yeah.
That's perhaps a way that I should also teach. And so people are very scared to let go. They think that they are like, they're not on the best path for success. So they will just follow something and just kind of basically shove a square peg into a round hole. It's never going to work. Often people are very, they just don't know. They don't know how to pare down. They don't know how to like, well, I've got this thing that I'm really good at. I don't know really what it looks like. I can't actually articulate, like, okay, I can get my clients results. I'm not even sure how.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how. So they're very, very vague. They just like, and then that's when they fall back on, well, when I say, well, what do you do? And they're like, well, I do breath work. And I do like EFT tapping and I do somatic work, and that's what I do. And I'm like, no, that's not what you do. That's not what you do. They're the resources, the tools, the skills. What's the method? Why do you do it that way?
Yeah.
And what most people don't do is they don't then narrow down to the key to your marketing, which is what is the specific core problem that you solve. This is the chocolate. This is the thing that we need to be focusing on in your marketing, that entry point, as I talked about. And so people don't know that, and they're very scared to let go of all the other things, because they're like, yeah, but I do all this stuff. When clients come to me, they're going to like, their lives are going to change in so many different ways. The way that my work actually impacts them is vast. And how can I possibly, this is the other thing here, I'm multi-talented, I'm multifaceted, I'm creative. Yeah, we all are, right? We all are. But you have to be able to know, well, what is the thing you're going to really become known for? What's that specific core problem? And most people cannot answer that question. If I ask, what's the problem you solve? Well, I help people with leadership. What does that mean? No. What's the transformation you're taking people through? Let's talk about what the specific thing is that you very specifically and uniquely do, and how do you do it? And so I think another reason that I see is, again, fear of what their specific skill not being enough. And this was me, this is my experience, like very, very, very narrow thing that I help people with, which I call your unique industry advantages. You know, the positioning expertise that I have, which is really part of messaging. It's part of the marketing messaging world, but that's my zone of genius. Like, I didn't think that was enough. I didn't think that fact I can tell you exactly what to say to sell, because for some reason I can put myself in your client's shoes like that. Yeah. I thought that can't be I can't possibly build a business from that. I have to be this messaging queen, this messaging person. I have to
deal with all of it.
Yeah. And actually it put me in a state of massive doubt. Yeah. Massive doubt, massive like crisis of confidence, massive levels of imposter syndrome, which were actually a signal that I was not in the right place. That I needed to just pare back. And I see that a lot. I see that a lot of like, well, I can't possibly be enough. Yes, it can, when we've identified your problem that you solve and how you solve it, and we can describe that and put that belief behind it.
The thing is, once you have that one piece, everything else falls into place from there, doesn't it? You know, everything else. So you only need to solve that one core problem, because actually the rest will fall. So I've got an interesting question for you. So clients, people, you know, particularly for service-based businesses, they have different levels of problem awareness.
Yes.
So what would you say if you're saying that somebody needs to know exactly which problem they solved, they can sell the client the chocolate? I find that sometimes clients come to me and what they think their problem is isn't their problem at all. And as a service provider, you kind of want to sell the real solution, because you're like, well, I know this is going to fix it, but they're so far away, they're so symptomatic that they can't even see the problem. All they're doing is they're experiencing symptoms. So what would you say in marketing then? How do you broach that? Which problem do you sell to them? The one that they think they want, or the one that they really need?
Yeah, it's the one. It's a great question. I get asked this all the time. So we always analyze like, what is the level of awareness of your ideal client, of your audience right now? You have to know that. Yeah. And you're right. Sometimes, so within your audience, there'll be a mixture. There'll be a mixture of people who are highly aware, who are looking for that solution, who know they have that problem. There'll be people who don't even know, oh, well, I can change this. There's something I can like do about this thing that is slowing me down, or whatever they're feeling, or, you know, moving them away from the situation. Sometimes they don't even realize that there's room for improvement. And it's about showing them that possibility. And so, what we have to do then is always focus on all roads leading to, I can help you solve this specific core problem. That's what I do. And so your job in your marketing then is to create content that shows them awareness of that problem.
Yeah.
I call this activational content. It's like my framework, and it is about creating looking at very specific light bulb moments that are happening for them when they realise, oh, okay, so I'm experiencing this very specific thing that's happening in their day, and then you're explaining why.
Yeah.
Literally like, oh, you're feeling like this, that moment they're staring out the window, or they wake up in the morning, or they're looking in the mirror while they're brushing their teeth and they're wishing that maybe things could be different, maybe things could change, or things aren't quite working, and it's you, making them aware of that.
Yeah.
And explaining to them why. And so over time, that's like step 1 of my 5-part content framework. If you can put that in at the beginning, and then you continue to like nurture through your messaging, your marketing frameworks throughout the course of a week or so, you'll take them from that point of, oh yeah, there is a problem there, to that, well, now let's show them like what they're trying to change, and get them to start looking for the solution, and show them that you have that specific solution in your specific way.
And it's really important to market to all parts of that problem awareness journey, because a lot of my clients, they're looking for more premium clients, and I always say to them, typically marketing to those people, then they're already quite problem aware. So it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of who.
Yes,
they've already made the decision that they're going to solve the thing, right? And it's not a matter of if they're going to do it, it's a matter of who they're going to do it with. So if you're constantly talking about the lower end of the problem solution, the people who are ready to buy, you're never giving them the invitation. The same as if you're always talking about the ready to buy, the people lower down are never going to.
Exactly.
So you need that breadth sort of, throughout your marketing, don't you?
Yeah, and it's like top of funnel. Like obviously we talk about top of funnel content being basically your coldest audience, the people who we need to bring in. Just make awareness, exactly, and then you'll bring them through. But it can happen very quickly. People come into my world, and within like 7 days they've
gone straight down.
Exactly.
But it can take years as well, can't it? That's the thing. We've probably both had clients.
Yeah, it can do, but obviously the job of the marketing is to speed that up. And one of the things we do through this whole process is, once you do know like your unique industry advantage, it speeds that process up once you can put that into your marketing.
People
big
straight
time.
down. Okay. So what do you think the difference is between what you do and what makes your approach unique? We've already sort of talked on this a little bit, and we did a little bit around this in the first episode, around thinking about your thinking, your skills, your approach, your standards, all of those. What's your kind of take on that? Can you give our viewers and everybody watching a few starting points of where they can start to look for this unique industry advantage? Like where can they start journaling around this and kind of deep diving?
So what you do is not your job title. It's not the outcome. So it's not like the transformation. It's not, I help you to,
make social media posts.
Or I help your toddlers to sleep through the night. It's not the result. And this is where most people focus their marketing. It's like, okay.
That's what we're told in marketing,
isn't
it? Sell the outcome.
Sell the transformation, sell the outcome, exactly. And that's great. Obviously, we put that in. That's the chocolate we're going to lead to. That's the thing we're going to identify. But that's the end of all of your content. That's like in the calls to action as you're summing things up. The majority of your marketing has to be focusing on the problem that you solve. And so the problem that you solve, the way I construct your unique industry advantage, it's made up of 3 parts. It's very, very simple. It is, what's that specific core problem that you solve? So for example, I help you, if you are, a online coach, I help you to stop. So what do you stop them from doing? So I help stop you from feeling invisible, and stop you from being just one of many options. So like, that's the thing. It's almost the negative.
That's the problem that they've got.
That's the problem. It's the opposite of the solution. And that's where we focus. So you want to be thinking about that and really going all in. So again, with me, with you, we're very similar. We could talk about, well, I help you with your messaging. I help you create content that stops you feeling overwhelmed with like, where am I going to begin? I help you make content simple. There are so many different angles. For me, I've identified that is the thing my clients want most. They want to be seen and they want to be chosen. It's dead simple. And then on top of that is how. So what's the methodology? That's part 2. Once you got that problem, how do you do it? So what's your methodology? You have to have that mapped out. So you have to know, okay, I take a client when they're at point A and I get them to point B. How? What's the process? What's the method? What are the important steps? And obviously this is a bigger, deeper work that we do, like mapping out your framework. And a lot of people don't know that. And a lot of people haven't gone deep enough into
Yeah.
that. So it's like,
I get this all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah. They're like, I haven't got one. I just do it. And I'm like, no,
But how?
You do have it. You just aren't aware of it. So we have to absolutely raise up that level of self-awareness
and pull that out
and get objectional about it and think, well, how do I do this?
Exactly.
There is a pattern. There is a system or a
exactly.
framework.
What's the common patterns? What are the questions you're asking? What are the common things that are coming up? What are the things that are creating wins and the things that are not? And so there's different ways of looking at that. And then, well, why? So this is where the unique part comes in, because why do you do those things? And this is where we look at what's the belief behind it. What is the belief that you have behind each of those steps in your method? Like, why is that so important? For example, with me, one of my core beliefs is that you cannot even think about implementing marketing strategies or brand strategy until you know what you're selling and who you are and your methodology, your unique industry advantage, because those things are pointless. You're just filling them with empty things.
If you're unsure, what chance have your audience got?
Exactly. And it's not going to be as powerful. And so what a lot of people do is they go out and they'll really go all in on messaging, like frameworks and strategies. They'll invest and they'll go and think, oh, I've got a sales problem. We'll go and do a course on DM closing or whatever, a sales course, blah, blah, blah. And it's not that. It's like, well, you can't possibly know what business you're building until you know what you do for yourself. You know what your unique thing is. And not just that, like the conviction, the confidence that brings into your entire business. You know, I'm a different woman. I'm a different woman now. And it's like, you cannot possibly build a business without knowing that. And so that is one of my core beliefs.
That conviction.
So that you have to know these things. And once, again, people don't know, well, I'm not really sure why. And so it's pulling that out. And when you can combine that and then you can talk about those things in your messaging and you position it to your specific ideal clients, that is literally all you need, I believe, to build a business.
Choice,
It really is like the foundation, and so many people skip past it. So many people skip past it.
It really is that simple, isn't it? But often the most simplest things are the hardest. But then they need
people like you or I to help bring that out.
It's the same thing, is it? You can't see the label from inside the bottle. Sometimes we need those people to help us see things differently. So we've talked about becoming the obvious choice. Let's flip it on its head now. And let's talk around the edge of that in terms of why it feels so edgy to do that. Becoming the obvious choice, finding your niche or USP, whatever you want to call it, finding your specialism. Why do people shrink away from that? Let's talk about why that feels like an edge. Why does it feel so risky doing it?
Oh, well, again, it's that fear of going all in. It's like, am I going to shed potential clients? Am I going to be able to build a business from this? It's
nowhere to hide, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also, I think for a lot of people, this requires slowing down. And for me, this is definitely my kind of thing. I had to slow right down and I had to get rid of, and you hear these stories, you hear these posts, I burnt my business down and I just, you hear all these things. I was
the day before they were selling their 12-month mastermind.
Yeah, I was about to do this offer and then I just put it in the bin and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I never thought for one second that I would be that person. I didn't really understand it. I didn't understand what that actually meant or felt like. And it does require you to slow down. The season, the winter for me that I've just literally come out of from November through to March was that I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't know who I am, blah, blah, blah. And I'd built this massive business last year, had giant success, and it came to a crashing plateau. I created a reel about this yesterday. I was just it's the truth. It was like, I cannot go any further. Cannot go any further because I'm doing something that is just not.
I feel it.
Yeah, it's just not me. I also had massive imposter syndrome. And so I think a lot of people are scared to just stop. Because especially, and I know that a lot of your listeners are like this, a lot of your world is like this as well. We're all ambitious women. We want success yesterday. We don't stop.
No.
We're like, I can't stop. I need to keep going.
When we stop,
When I stop,
I've got to think about it. I've got to deal with it. I can't avoid it. I've got to address it.
And
there's
also,
no hiding.
Exactly. And that means that I don't create content. And I look back now at my content, Claire, from the winter, and I'm like, who was that person?
Yeah. You almost go into kind of just going through the motions, right? You
1000%.
You make the content, you do the thing, you carry on.
I was just putting it out, and I was like, I did not have that belief, that heart behind it, and people could see it. And guess what? My sales were like over the winter.
Yeah, I think that's such a key thing. I talk about this with my clients all the time about your clients can feel it. They can feel it if you're not sure. They can feel it if you don't mean it. They can feel it if you haven't got the conviction. I say this like to my clients, you need to be as passionate to stand in front of a room with one person in it and 1,000 people in it and talk with the same level of passion and conviction, because it shouldn't be conditional on who's listening.
No.
Right?
No.
It shouldn't be like, I care a little bit about this because only 2 people are listening, to, I really care about it. Look, I've got all this attention on me. Like, I really care about it today.
Yeah.
It can't be that, right?
No.
Because sometimes we know in days in business, nobody's fucking watching. No. Nobody's there. You're it, right?
I always say the only person that needs to have that belief in it is you. You honestly do. I don't care.
Yeah.
I actually honestly don't care. I really don't care whether you hire me or not. Like, I really don't care.
Because you have that.
I'm here. Do you want it or not?
So what changed then? What changed then for that flip of that switch for you, where you got to that place where you're like, I have such strong conviction and belief that what I do creates powerful transformation for the right people, that I'm okay with people not wanting it?
It happened literally in one weekend.
Really?
In March. And that was, I can tell you exactly what I did. And I let go of who I was trying to be. I let go of trying to be this messaging genius. Yeah. And I just, again, it was like, I actually went, no, what I'm doing now is enough. And I was at a retreat, and there was another girl there who was a marketing queen. And she was teaching, and I was like, I just looked at her and I burst into tears. And I was like, I'm never going to be that. I am really good at marketing, but I'm not, like, that's not my thing.
Yeah.
It's part of it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to create a marketing agency. And I think I was like trying to be this, like, hang on a second. And I looked at her and I was like, she's coming to the game with 14 years of marketing in corporate. She's worked at Amazon, And I was like, in that moment, I was like, I'm never going to be her.
How can I compete with
How? What am I doing? What the hell am I doing?
Why am I even trying?
Why? And then I looked at, like, hang on a second, what do I actually do? Oh my God, this is so fucking powerful.
Yeah.
What I do is so brilliant.
Why am I trying to compare it?
And that's enough.
Yeah.
And it's genius. And do you know what's funny, Claire? That all the clients I'd brought in over the winter, client issues.
Yeah.
A couple were not getting results. I had very difficult situations because I was trying to be someone I was not. And I'm going to be really honest about that, I like to be honest. And so that was on me.
Yeah.
That was on me. And since then, I'm a different person.
Yeah, I mean, the transformation has been incredible. Like watching,
thank you.
Your social media, and I love that about you. I love the honesty. I don't think there's enough of that in the online space. And earlier when you said, 100%, when you said earlier, I got imposter syndrome. It'd be really easy for people to look at your Instagram profile and think, oh, she's got it all. Yeah. She's got her shit together. She knows what she's doing. She must never feel scared. But for you to sit here and openly say, I get scared. And I think it's really important for us to have those open conversations and help women realise that we're all going to meet edges all of the time. It's not about removing the edges. It's about who you are when you get there, right? That's what matters. And removing shame and guilt around wanting to change direction, or wanting to become a new version of ourselves, or wanting to leave parts of us behind. The more women we see talking about those transformations, the more okay it becomes for women to see that the messy middle is just a period of growth, right? And we all go through it.
It's constant, right? And I think, I've been in the industry now for 3 years. I always say, like, I had like a year, it was a good 6-month period in the middle where I was like just floating. So it's like been 2.5 years of discovery of like, what is my thing? And I've constantly been searching this whole time. I've hired coaches. What's my thing? What's my thing? What's my thing? Can you tell me what it is that I do? Again, I went to do brand work. The most amazing brand person, strategist to help me. The photography was great. The experience was incredible. I wasn't ready for that because I was looking to her for the answers. I remember sitting in the car with her in Florida, and she was like, so tell me about your method and what you do. And like, I was like, I don't really know what we're talking about. And I just like, I was looking for her to kind of put me in this box visually. Yeah. And with a strategy. And I'm being very honest about that. And it was like probably the most wasted investment I've ever made. And that's not because of her skills. She's incredible. That's because I was not ready. And I was looking for her for the answers. And I think, and it's a journey. And I believe that you have to go on this. Some people are slower, some people are going to be faster. And when you see those coaches who are on the internet with that conviction, those big names we all know, trust me, they've been through this journey too.
Yeah.
They have been through this, like, they talk about the doubts, they absolutely have been through this period of like, who am I, what am I doing? And like discovery, this self-discovery, these are the things I don't like about me anymore, I want to leave behind, that blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you have to go through that, because no one comes into the world like knowing what their thing necessarily is.
No, and the thing is, this might be your thing now, but if we sit here in 5 years, it might look different.
Who knows?
That's the thing, and I think it's having permission.
It will be.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
Right? Because in 5 years, you'll have learnt, you'll have grown, you'll have changed, you'll have matured, you'll have experienced life, and we get to take all of that with us, right? And that becomes our unique blueprint. And that's why my training company is called the Skills Blueprint.
I love it.
You are your unique advantage. Like, it always has to be you, because nobody has your unique blueprint of skills, personality, characteristics, traits, beliefs, traumas, triggers, any thoughts, perspective, values, all of that. Like, that is your unique blueprint. I love it. I mean, we could sit here all day.
I know.
So what do you think the relationship between having a specialism, trust, and premium positioning is? So having a specialism, trust, and premium positioning, what do you think there's any connectors between those three things creating that in a market? So having a specialism, people trusting you with it, and being able to position it in a premium way. Like, what do brands, or is it brands? Let's dig into that. What do you think on that one?
I just actually did a training on this, and this is a brilliant, perfectly timed question, because I basically said, for me, the definition of premium positioning is the level of expertise you bring.
Nice.
And that's it. That is it. Because we all know, like, we want expertise, we want the best. And we all know brands that are, like, okay, let's talk about brands. Let's talk about a high-end brand, such as, say, Louis Vuitton, Prada, Gucci, like designer brands. Obviously, they are the best. Their brands are very known for one thing, very premium, high level. And we go to them for that experience. You know, we walk into the store, we get, the person knows our name. Not that, like, I'm there quite yet, but exactly, glass of champagne. You know, the Four Seasons, like the luxury experience you get when you go, like the people know your name, they know what your food preferences are from previous trips. You know, it's very high end, it's extremely premium. And you go for that, and you can pay thousands, tens and tens, hundreds of thousands of pounds for that. However, at the other end, there are those brands, and you've heard me talk about this before, which are very, very specialist. I would say are premium at what they do, but they're not expensive. So let's take this Chick-fil-A example that I always use. I love it. But it's so true. Chick-fil-A, if you don't know, is a chicken fast food, basically, restaurant in the US. But it's kind of that middle fast food. It's more expensive than McDonald's, like your kind of Five Guys type, but for chicken. And it is incredible, right? It's absolutely insane. And okay, it's not expensive. But you go there for that premium chicken. Oh my God, it's to die for. You go there for
chicken, nothing else.
It's to die for. And that for me is a premium experience.
Simple things done well.
Exactly. They're experts in that. And so that is all it is for me. And that's why I truly believe that and I've done this, I try to look premium, you know, the black and white, the curly fonts, the fancy photo shoots, we've all done that. You know, I'm not ashamed to say I try to kind of like emulate people that I was, you know, looking up to in the industry. We've all done it, or most of us have done it. And it wasn't me. And now, and where was the expertise behind it? Wasn't really there, okay? And so whilst it might have looked good on the surface, when you scratched underneath that, that's
substance,
why, and clients perhaps didn't get the best results they could have. I'm not saying I ever like cheated anyone, but you know, I could have been better. You're always improving, right? But what I'm saying is the outside did not match the inside. And now I have this brand, which is so much more me. It's very laid back. It's and it's also it's not necessarily like visually premium. Some parts of it are, but it shows both sides of me. I'm like in my Lululemon gym kit all the time, but then I love to dress up as well. So it's all parts of me, but it's not like, it's about the expertise. And oh my God, people, now I know how to talk about my expertise because I've defined it in the ways we've talked about in this podcast. People see it, get it, understand it, and they're buying like crazy because that's all that matters. They see the premium delivery.
So clear to them.
Yeah, and that's all that matters. And I think this is why we sometimes, unfortunately, in the coaching industry can get duped into investments that might look and feel high-end.
Yes.
But actually, when you get inside, unfortunately, we've,
Yes.
most of us have been let down because they don't deliver.
We get drawn in by the shop window and by
Exactly.
the... Yeah. Okay. So just thinking about this then, let's think about... We've touched on why it feels so risky to define your edge or to have a USP. Let's talk about the role that you think trust has in this.
Right.
Self-trust. As a woman in business.
You mean internally, your own trust?
Yeah, 100%.
Or
like
trust,
the trust
outwardly?
No, the trust, inner trust, your trust, self-trust as a woman in business. Because I think it's huge.
It's everything.
And I think it's not talked about enough. If we outsource our trust.
Yeah.
And you've talked about that.
Yes.
You gave the example, I outsourced my trust into the brand.
Yeah.
You know, I was hoping she had the answers, whereas actually...
Yeah.
We have a lot of the answers that we need, but we don't
Yeah.
trust ourselves with them.
Not at all. And it's everything. Like, you cannot go forward any further. This is why I plateaued.
Yeah.
And I came to this crashing halt last fall because I was just so... I was searching for... I didn't have it at all. It was empty inside in terms of trust.
Yeah.
And, it felt really, really disheartening. I was like... I'm really, really crap at what I do. I'm like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
And this is when I had to dig deep and find that. Like, where within my skill sets can I fully trust that is where my genius is, that I can go out into the world and talk about this and share this and sell this. Not that I was ever out of integrity. It's not like I'm...
No.
It was just... The level of depth to which I've now gone.
The expression of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in my understanding of my own abilities, and that's what we do with our clients. It's getting very deep in this is why we go very deep in their skill set, their methodologies, the why, the beliefs behind, because with that...
It's solid, isn't it?
Yeah, and you start to also feel that for yourself. So, for example, one of the clients I'm working with at the moment, she's brilliant. She's been doing what she does for so long. She could not understand, she can't understand... She's got a method. This is the thing, she's got a method mapped out, but she's not sure why. It just works. It just works. And okay, now, once we started to unpick and why? What are the beliefs that you have? Why do you think that? Why have you brought that to the table? Why is that important to you? And she's like, well, that comes from my past experience when X, Y, and Z happened. And I'm like, well, do you not see now that how powerful that is?
Yes.
And she's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And just that level of sinking, anchoring into...
It's like ownership of it, isn't it? And I had this
Exactly.
conversation with a client this week. It's on a social media post that I did a couple of days ago. Because you're like me, you create content from your day-to-day conversations because it's the best way. And a client, she's grown a huge amount over the last kind of 6 to 12 months. Really amazing results. And she's just struggling to own it. And I said to her in a coaching session, I said, I really feel like you feel this is happening to you. Not that you were actively involved in creating these results.
Yeah, sure.
And she was like, oh my God, that's exactly how I feel. She said, I feel like it's happened to me. It was luck. It was just by chance. I didn't actively create that. And it's success kind of attribution gap, isn't it? Where we can't see our part in creating that success. And if you can't see the part you played in creating that success, you can't own it. You can't claim it.
No.
And you can't use it again.
Or take responsibility for it and then improve if there are gaps. Exactly.
But I think there's fear in doing that, of when you say, I actively do that, there's that thing of shit, I've got to be able to do it again. Yes. I've got. Yeah. But if I pretend that it just happened by accident, I'm taking the pressure off myself to repeat that result, right?
Yeah. And then how can you create offers and pull out pieces of your genius and do micro offers or whatever?
Yeah.
If you don't have an understanding of that methodology and that trust in yourself, and it the difference now between now I can, if you said to me, okay, tomorrow you need to do a low ticket offer, I want you to, or even a 5-week course. I'm like, yep, done.
I know
easy.
Exactly what I do. Yeah.
There's a million things I can talk about. Let's go.
Yeah.
Which way do you want to go? And it's that. I say this all the time. You are narrowing down to expand because you're narrowing down to something that you are so solid in, 100. It's like you're now 10 out of 10, or you're 100% like out of 100.
Yeah.
You've got it all sorted rather than trying to be diluted before. You were like, 60%.
Yeah.
The 40% is
but
kind of I'm all right at.
Yeah, getting lost in it.
And so, of course, now you are like, by refining, I always call it refining, of course you then going to become known. Because you're going to become known for that one thing. You do not need to be known
top-of-mind
for
awareness.
everything. Exactly.
Yeah, like quality recommendation as well, like quality referral of like, oh my God, you need to speak to Helen, she helps you with this.
Exactly.
That quality of that
specific
referral,
thing, not
absolutely.
just like messaging or marketing.
Yeah.
What makes it different?
Helps you do this thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. I feel like we probably need a part 2.
Let's do it. Let's go.
We'll do it next.
We'll swap shirts and then pretend like we've just done another episode.
There's so much that we could uncover. I feel like we've only scratched the surface. But for this episode, so this episode was all around the edge of becoming the obvious choice. So if our viewers are sat here struggling with this, this is their edge that they're facing at the moment of becoming that obvious choice, being seen, being remembered, being chosen. What's 3 kind of actionable first steps that they can go away and do today that's going to help them move forward with this? Let's leave them with some really practical advice.
Okay, I think the biggest one, whether we get to 3, I think the biggest key one is for you to go and just be honest with yourself. And I know this is tough. Go and just sit down and look at, okay, out of all the results that I've been getting my clients over the last year or 6 months or whatever, where have the best things happened? Like, how's that happened? Where are the things that I really have nailed it? Do I need to be doing the other things?
Yeah.
Is that like...
What's adding noise?
Exactly, yeah. What's diluting my genius? What's actually just making me sound like blending into everybody else?
It's unnecessary.
The second thing is like, what do you love doing? I always ask this question, and really genuinely honest to you, because so many of us try to put ourselves in a box of...
I should enjoy what I should.
Yeah, and also like, that's worked for them, and so that's going to be successful, and blah, blah, blah. And then that's when we get to the point when I created a post about this the other day, like we start looking at our competitors' sales pages. We start to check, what's in their program? Have I covered all those things as well? Like, have I missed something? And you're like, I've done that. Like, again, second guessing ourselves, not trusting that what we're bringing, like, is my methodology actually like... So thinking about like, what am I doing that I really love? What am I doing that I really do love, that I could, again, like you said, you could stand in front of 1, you could stand in front of 1,000, you could create a masterclass on tomorrow, you could like talk forever on. Yeah, the thing that really makes you passionate, and I think that's so important. It's hard to do. Yeah. And I think the third thing, we will get to 3, there we go, is have patience. Please have patience.
We all want it now, don't we?
Yeah, this is not going to happen overnight. And you have to be willing to sit in that valley for a while while you figure this shit out.
To try, to iterate.
Yeah, and it's not even just that. It's like, it's that honesty of just, now, where do I go from here? Yeah. And that's where coaches like you and I come in. It's like, we can help you to pull you out and
hold
like
that space,
put you in that direction and show you and like be that mirror and extract those things that we know are going to help you be seen and known. For what you do. And I think having that patience with yourself, be kind to yourself, because we all know like the time goes so fast but when you're in it, 3 months can feel like nothing's happening. It feels like forever.
It's like wading through treacle, doesn't it? Yeah. Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Claire. I love this. I
know. I feel like we could talk forever.
I know.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Helen.